Hey, I'm Hossman17. Welcome to Pop Culture Backlog, where I go through my pop culture backlog. Today is TPBTBT, or Trade Paperback Throwback Thursday. In today's episode, we're going to talk about Invincible, Volume 1, Family Matters. This came back out in 2003. Robert Kirkman wasn't as known then as he is now, but he certainly should have been, with art by Cory Walker and colors by Bill Crabtree. Invincible is hands down the best comic I've ever read. It is absolutely my favorite, like without a doubt. Pull the curtain back here a little bit. First episode, we'll pull the curtain back. My name is Mark. My son's name is Grayson. That is not a coincidence. Invincible's name, Mark Grayson. So let's dive right into this, all right? First issue. First thing I want to talk about is the art. It's not bad. It's not great. I wasn't a fan of Cory Walker's art, but that's neither here nor there. It's the writing. It's the writing that gets you, and the art does get better, but we'll get to that in a future episode. This is called Family Matters, and that's a naming convention that is an Easter egg in itself that, as we go on, you'll see the trend there. So this contains the first 4 issues. And honestly, the whole book is pretty standard superhero fare, and like there's really nothing about this first collection that stands out. And that's by design. It doesn't have to stand out. It's bland for a reason, and it makes perfect sense when you get to it. There's a famous story. Robert Kirkman sold them on The Walking Dead by saying, "Oh, down the road, aliens are coming." And everybody's like, "Oh, okay," because it's not just another zombie book. It's got a hook. There's aliens coming. This one has the hook, but you've got to read through to get to it. But the hook would not be the same if you didn't read it all. So let's dive in. I'm going to try to keep this as spoiler-free as I can. Mark Grayson is an average teenage kid, except for one thing. His dad is basically Superman. There it is. Nothing too standard about that. He's going about his day. You see the everyday life. "Oh, hey, where's your dad?" "Oh, he's on the other side of the world fighting a dragon." "Well, his dinner's going to be cold." It does a really good job, actually, with the reality of it, in that it's obviously not reality. It's a heightened reality with superheroes in it, but he keeps the writing very realistic to what real people would be in that situation, if that makes any sense at all. It does to me. So Mark is sitting here, and he's not sure if he's going to get his powers or not. And he's at work one day at Burger Mart or generic burger place. He goes to take out the trash, throws the bag, it flies up into space. He's like, "Okay, I guess I got my powers." And that's how this whole thing starts. It's really just so simple and paint by numbers. And like I said, that is an amazing thing. He creates himself his own superhero costume. Nothing fancy there. And he gets into a little superhero fight. Pay attention to that guy there. You see that guy covered in the rocks? He's going to come back later. And that is something I'm going to say quite a bit, because the world building is part of what makes Invincible so amazing. So his dad obviously doesn't want him out fighting crime in a homemade outfit, so he takes him to his tailor, which is another great example of how they have like the real world reactions in this superhero world. And they start looking at costume designs. But remember this costume, because it's going to come up later. And he has a really good, once again, one of those realistic conversations about the heightened world with the tailor, Art. He says, "Hey, I want a costume that's iconic." And Art's like, "Everybody says that. Everybody wants that. What does that mean?" He doesn't know. That's pretty much the first issue right there. Actually, no. He has a conversation with the principal. After a little school scuffle, the principal says, "Hey, you're not invincible, and that's how he gets his name, Invincible. Pretty paint by numbers, open and shut case. It's not honestly enough to grab you. When I lend this out, I give people at least 3 or 4 volumes, and I say, please read it all before you judge it. But that was the first issue. Like I said, nothing amazing. So then we go on to the second issue. The second issue is kind of more the same. It's Mark trying out everything, seeing he meets the Mahler twins once again. Great world building. They're going to come back later. That's how it is. And then he starts meeting some other superheroes. He meets Adam Eve, and she's part of the teen team with Rexplode, Robot, Duplicate. Once again, world building. These are all going to be major players down the road. It's really amazing. Just he's establishing all this little stuff. I don't want to give too much away, but even still, like the world building, I cannot talk enough about the world building in this. Dad's telling the story about how he came to Earth and what he's there to do and what he's there to protect and everything. And even in the montage of a story, we get a clip with this guy right here. No big deal. Pay attention. He's going to come back later. Right there in the second issue, in the corner of a small panel in the middle of a montage, one of the most important characters to the whole story comes in, and you don't even know it at the time. Like, rereading these things is where you find all this stuff. It's truly amazing. And like I said, but once again, he beats up the bad guys. He meets some more superheroes. Pretty standard stuff. Nothing really amazing yet. You know, we go on to the third issue where there's an alien invasion of these Flaxians. Once again, they're going to come back later. It's all these seeds are set for so much bigger things. It's all so good. So obviously I wanted to do this because Invincible is coming out pretty soon on Amazon Prime, and I literally have worn the trailer out on my phone. Okay, not literally, but I've watched it a lot. I'm super stoked for it. I don't know how close it's going to stick to the comics or whatnot, but hopefully you're finding this video through that, and it intrigues you to pick it up and read it, or at the very least, check out the show, because I know it's going to be amazing. And then we get to the fourth issue right here. The fourth issue finally has a cover. Like, they're all pretty standard covers. This one shows a little something. Even this is introducing characters and everything. But like I said, all in all, the first collection isn't a lot. If you are intrigued to try Invincible, buy the first two. And please promise to me you will read them. Just reading the first one is not enough to judge it alone, but it builds up so much that sets up the payoff and the twists that come in the second trade paperback. It is essential. It's fun, it's a good time, and it's full of little Easter eggs like this one right here. Let me know in the comments below that you got that, okay? But, I don't know. At the end of the day, Invincible is just another superhero comic in the whole slew of superhero comics. But it is literally the best one. I mean that sincerely. What sets this apart from everything else is its characters. Robert Kirkman absolutely knows what he was doing, and he knows the universe he's beginning to build in this set of issues right here. I implore you, please, at least pick up the first two trade paperbacks and read them. Anyway, I've been Hossman17. If you even remotely enjoyed this, give it a like, subscribe, comment. I'm going to be back very soon with trade paperback number 2, and I'm going to keep this going. I've got books, video games, comic books, all kinds of things that I want to get through, because you know what? You can't always afford something new. It's worth rereading stuff again. So you can find me weekly here on YouTube. You can find me quite a bit over on twitch.tv. Hossman17 is my name. And just thank you very much for taking the time and watching this video and sticking with it. And just know that I'm going to get better at putting this stuff together in time. All right, thank you very much.